Now, back to football. We'll take your calls in just a moment. But first, have a listen to this. Last month, when speaking to the media, Mikel Arteta said Aaron Ramsdale just needs to stay patient.
It's not easy for any player when he's not playing as much as he would like to. But the only way to do it is to work harder, to show the passion that you have for the game, to contribute to the team in a different way. And when you get the opportunity, do your best and try to help the team to win the game.
There were a lot of eyebrows were raised, mine included, when Arsenal bought him from, I think it was Sheffield United, wasn't it, in August last year, for around about £30 million with add-ons included, etc. I think it rises to £30 million, excuse me. But I, along with quite a lot of football fans, have been proved wrong. It was a brilliant acquisition, brilliant signing for your club. I can't actually remember him putting more than one or 2 feet wrong, if that makes sense. I was going to say putting a foot wrong, but goalkeepers make mistakes, right? I've never looked at him and thought, he's a bad goalkeeper. No. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I think he's got great potential. I certainly see him as an England number 1 at some stage. And I was really stunned when, on the back of that, not too long after he joined the club, your manager, Mikel Arteta, went out and bought another goalkeeper, David Raya, on loan, albeit on loan, didn't sign him. And then we were questioning how that was going to work. Was it going to be 1 week for one, 1 week for the other? Was one going to be a cup kick? And so on. But what has happened is that Aaron Ramsdale has been basically moved to the bench and become the number 2. Mentally, that affects a goalkeeper. It will affect David Raya as well, because he's thinking, if I make one mistake, there's this really good goalkeeper who's hot on my heels. Yeah. But in the last 24, 40 hours, Aaron Ramsdale's dad has come out and spoken on a podcast and talked about how unhappy he is the way his son has been treated by Arsenal and, of course, the manager. What do you make of all of that? What do you make of the fact these dads come out now?
Well, you know, first, I mean, it was a decision when they signed Raya. I didn't quite understand it. I think David Raya's a good goalkeeper, but I didn't see the need for Arsenal to go out and get him because, and I said it before to you, unless Arsenal are going out and getting Edison or Alisson, who are like they're better goalkeepers, then that would make sense. But I look at Raya, he wasn't someone I went, do you know what, he's better than Ramsdale, because in my opinion, he's not. And when people talk about Ramsdale and his mistakes, they go back to one game, Southampton, where he passed the ball out, and I think it was Alcaraz gets it and scores, right? But people almost forget about some of the saves he made to keep Arsenal in games. Like Arsenal go 2 up against Liverpool, then Liverpool are absolutely peppering Arsenal's goal, and he makes one save from Salah. That's one of the best saves that you'll see.
Yes.
So people forget about that. And when in terms of Ramsdale's dad, now it's a difficult one. See, I know for a fact my father sat in stadiums and heard fans say stuff. He might have even decisions that managers have made, and he never came out and said anything. I'm sure he probably wanted to, but he didn't.
But also bear in mind, it wasn't as easy for your dad back then,
of course,
to have a platform.
Because of the social media and all that. I get that, right? But also, from a parent, and that's the only thing I'd say about Ramsdale's dad, is that at times it's easier said than done. When you see your son who's high-flying, playing really well for one of the big clubs in the world, things are going really well, nearly won the title last season, playing well, he's number 1, trying to push for that England number 1, and then it just been taken away from him so suddenly. Like, parents react in different ways. So, like, if my son gets to a certain level and then he's obviously doing really well, which I hope he does, and then I see him being treated this way. Now, I've been in football, so I probably wouldn't say anything. I'd go, do you know what? No, as hard as it is to grit my teeth, I probably wouldn't say anything. But I wouldn't hammer parents who do, because it's hard. You know, we talk about your son, your kids. It's a really difficult environment to be in. Do you know what I mean? To not say anything. So in that respect, I get it. But I think Ramsdale probably would have a conversation with his dad and say, do you know what? It's probably not the best idea now, because now we're just creating another story. Like, I'm not hammering his dad for doing it, because I get it, he's a parent. But at the same time,
I would have done it.
If it's your parent, if your daughter, sometimes it's hard. But I'm sure Aaron Ramsdale, he's a big, proud person, would probably go, do you know what, Dad? Probably not the best idea, but I said, as parents, you make mad decisions.
What's the worst that's going to happen? He's not being picked at the moment. He's still not going to be picked. Yeah. Do you think Arsenal not owe it to him, but do you think the club, bearing in mind what's happened, do you think the club should allow him to move in January if he wants to?
Well, that's the thing now, and this is where the sticky point is, because when you look at the league table, right, and you start thinking about Aaron Ramsdale, I think he can go pretty much, not everywhere, but there are a lot of clubs out there, I believe he's better than their goalkeeper now.
Okay. Tottenham's, I'd say no.
No, I'd say Villa's no. Martinez, good goalkeeper. Yeah. Newcastle's, I'd have him over Pope.
You'd have him over Pope?
Yep.
United, I think Onana's starting to...
No, I think he's better than Onana.
Ben, you can't just...
No, I think he's better than... That's opinions. Okay, I think he's better than West Ham's goalkeepers.
He's certainly better than Chelsea's.
We've just named 4 clubs like that. Yeah. But he's better than that.
Yeah.
So I don't understand, why would you want him to go and make other people's better? Certainly if they're your rivals in and around you, make them better. Because if he's available and they make it known that Ramsdale's available in January, people will try and get him. For sure, 100%.
We'll take calls in at 03717223344. Let's take a quick one now and then loads more in just a moment. Ali is an Arsenal fan. Hello, Ali.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Darren.
Hi, mate. You're right.
Great show. Big fan. You cheer up my day on the way home.
Oh, that's nice.
Every day.
That's nice. Cheer us up.
Even though, well, look, I fully agree with a lot of the points. And as a lifelong Gooner, I see the theory that Arteta's trying to do of have competition for every place, right? Even goalkeepers. He comes from this modern Pep way of thinking, Champions League, a lot of tournaments. What I can't understand is Raya has messed up a few times. He's flapped. He's been at fault.
Yep.
So Arteta's not being consistent with his strategy of having competition. You know, after the Newcastle goal, okay, it wasn't a goal, but it was given. But, you know, he was flapping at that. He's flapped at a few things. Well, bench him. You know, why not give Ramsdale a run? And the other point is, I think Ramsdale's dad, is it not for the Euros that he's trying to angle for something? If you didn't have the Euros next summer, would he have not made that statement? Because he's probably trying to get his son game time to get England number one. Whereas if you didn't have the Euros, maybe he wouldn't have made those comments.
Great point.
Do you know what? And it's a really good point there, because it almost looks like now that Ramsdale could be third choice. It could be Pickford, Sam Johnson, who's played, and then. So you get me? So without playing, he's falling down the pecking order. Yeah. So it's one of those where it's a difficult one to take. But I get, if it comes to January and he's not playing football, then a decision needs to be made. But I would have preferred Ramsdale to have stayed as number one. But listen, nothing against David Raya. I think he's a good goalkeeper. But I just didn't feel the need. I didn't think he was that much better than Ramsdale that it needed to be a shift.
Yeah, I agree. Right or wrong, his dad?
On the grand concept, I think I'd say probably wrong, because I think Aaron probably wouldn't like that. But from a parent's perspective, I fully understand why he's done it.
Would you have done it?
I don't think I would have done it. But it depends. If it's my son, I don't know how I'm going to feel until I get to that situation. And I don't think if you're not a parent, I don't think you can understand that. And I think that's logical. That how it feels about your own kid.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.